Welcome to the third video in the Ontario Affordable Housing Calculator How-To video series. Earlier videos provided an overview of the calculator and how to get started, and showed how to add affordability requirements to your project. In this video, we'll look at the incentives available to help offset the costs of providing affordable units. Scroll down to the Incentives section of the main input panel to see the available incentives. A very common and often very valuable incentive is a density bonus, which allows a developer to construct more units within the same land area, thereby increasing revenues and profit. When you click an incentive icon to add an incentive, you get a new entry in the My Incentives section. You can give your incentive a title if you want, or just fill in the value. If we give our project a 20% density bonus, you see that profit increases. That may mean that we can require more units to be affordable. Look at that. Now a 5% requirement is feasible, whereas it wasn't before we had a density bonus. Even a 10% requirement is feasible with this density bonus. By the way, in case you're now wondering, wait, how big is my project now that we've offered this density bonus? You can scroll down in this right-hand pane to get more details about the unit mix. How many market rate units, how many density bonus units, and how many affordable units. And if you scroll down further, you can see sort of a mini pro forma for our project. Let's go back to the incentives section and see if there are other incentives we can add that might even make a 15% affordability requirement feasible. Probably the next most valuable incentive is a parking reduction. It costs tens of thousands of dollars to build a single parking space. Reducing required parking can reduce a developer's costs significantly. If you're considering using parking reduction as an incentive and want to know how many parking spaces a project has in it to begin with, you can go to the Report screen and scroll to the Parking section. Back on the main calculator page and back on the Incentives section, let's add a parking reduction. Let's reduce our parking by 20% and see what that does for affordability. Look at that. By reducing parking by 20%, now requiring 15% of units to be affordable is feasible. So you see how this works. You can experiment with what you're hoping to achieve in terms of affordability and what different combinations of incentives can help get you there. Other incentives that you can try include streamlined processing, or speeding up planning and permit processing for projects that include affordable housing. This streamlining can save between 1 to 12 months for a developer. Faster processing reduces risk and financing costs and allows developers to bring projects to market faster, which can lead to a modest improvement in feasibility. Fee reduction, or reducing local planning, permitting, and/or development charges, such as parkland dedication fees, can be a meaningful incentive for developers, especially if the municipality normally has significant development charges. You can see or edit the amount of development charges on this project by scrolling down to the Development Costs section, clicking More, and looking at the Development Charges field. You can see that in this case, developers are being charged $40,000 per unit, so a decrease in these fees can be a significant incentive. Going back up to our list of available incentives, there's also the option for an upfront capital grant or an annual operating grant, such as the tax increment equivalent grant. One other thing I want to note while we're talking about incentives. If a municipality owns land, they also have the option to provide land to a developer at a reduced cost in exchange for affordable units. You can adjust land costs here under Development Cost and see what impact that has on development feasibility and affordability. The next video in our series will show you how to complete basic calculator tasks like creating an account and saving, sharing, and printing your project.